I'm Jake.
I'm Tom.
And we are VIMTV, Velocities in Music, here to do episode 152 for you. We're going to do Spoon's 2010 release, came out very early this year, I think January, February 2010, Transference. Transference is Spoon's 7th album?
Something like that.
7th?
Yeah.
I think 7th. Yeah. I mean, these guys have been around since '98. They've been huge in the 2000s, just all over the place. People love them. We actually reviewed 2002's Kill the Moonlight, right? 2002.
I think so.
And that's down below if you want to check out that episode or any of the research around that. That was a very good album that we liked. But Tom, yeah, why don't you jump in, give them some stuff about Spoon.
This, to me, this album, when you look back through their whole discography, as far as this relative to the last 5 albums, this is by far the quirkiest to me. I'm not counting a series of Sneaks, Telephone, or the Soft Effects EP, but when you take into account Girls Can Tell, Kill the Moonlight, Gimme Fiction, Ga 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 Ga, and then Transference, this one just big attitude shift.
Yep.
There is not, and I mean, they've always been kind of fun, kind of quirky anyways, in their songwriting, yet here they really match the production to fit that.
Yep.
But I'll get back a little more to the production later. But definitely just the attitude is much more playful. There's not as much sentimentality. I mean, tracks like Goodnight Laura, you get a little bit of that, but there's not as much of that as on past albums.
Especially Ga 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 Ga.
Yeah.
And one thing that they really did here is they stripped their sound down hardcore. You're not going to get a lot of just instrumentals. I mean, this is just drums, bass, guitar, maybe some piano in their keyboards, but very, very simple, very stripped down song. Minimalistic to almost a fault at times. But I really appreciate Spoon trying something new and going in a new direction, because that's one of the things I've complained is that all Spoon tends to bleed together and it dilutes their own work. They never really try to do anything new. So here they are trying to do something new while still retaining a very Spoon sounding album. One thing that I really liked about the whole stripping down thing is it's kind of like what Radiohead was doing within Rainbows, except where in Rainbows focused on building atmosphere. I don't really know what Spoon was trying to do other than just making their sound unique, because that's what Spoon does. And it works, but not to the same degree. I'm a big fan of In Rainbows, and I just didn't think that Spoon pulled it off quite as well. I mean, it didn't have just this huge justification for it, which is what I always look for in anything in music. I look for that justification. But instruments, you have awesome instrumentality with Spoon. Bass, I really do feel like this guy, Paul McCartney, was playing bass on this album. It really just sounds like Paul. And I love the guitar work. Britt Daniels is an awesome vocalist. I do get bored with his vocal parts sometimes, and I think he needs to change it up more. But overall, he's just a captivating vocalist, and I really like that. And I think that's a lot of the appeal that Spoon has.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of that charm,
right.
A lot of that energy to it.
Yeah, one thing that I absolutely can't stand about this album, though, is the drumming is just... It's like monotone drumming. It just drags on. The drummer just does the same thing for minutes and minutes on end without fills. There's one song here in track 7, he actually does a fill, and I'm surprised. I'm blown away that he actually did a fill. And it really bothered me, because it's like, I told Tom earlier, I was like, it's like dance music, how repetitive the beat is, without the dance part of it. And so it's really just kind of just a drum beat, and it gets really old and monotonous after a while. I think that kind of hurts the music overall.
And it's funny because Spoon has always been kind of an anomaly of a band to me, because you're saying about how repetitive the drums are. Well, it's funny because I feel like Britt Daniels as a vocalist, and I'm not talking about him repeating the same kind of patterns, I'm talking about him actually repeating the same lyrics.
Sure.
For example, the song Mystery Zone on this album, how many times does he say Mystery Zone in that song?
It's like
tons of times. Yeah, it was a perfect.
Yeah.
And even if you listen to Ga 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 Ga,
which is the album title.
Yeah, you got your cherry bomb. How many times does he say cherry bomb in that song?
Yeah.
Somehow he gets away with it. It's this endearing quality
it's part of that
just
charm.
comes. Yeah, exactly. Just comes out of nowhere and allows him to get away with it.
Yeah.
So hats off to him for that. But yeah, this, like I said, I wanted to come back to the production, because it's very strange. They have a lot of things that are just very unapologetically cut and dry. One of the best examples of that is track 2 is Love Forever. random delays and echoes that they won't even bother to fade out. It'll just be like, and then just cut off. And even the ends of songs, instead of fading out nicely, it'll just stop, just cut it. It's like if it was on reel to reel and they just went snip, and there you go. They don't even try to make it necessarily flow, which at least they're doing it in a way that you can tell it's deliberate. It doesn't sound sloppy. It sounds like they're just trying to be kind of strange and quirky.
Right.
At least that's the way it comes off to me.
Right. I really thought that this album got better with each listen.
I thought so too, yeah.
The first listen, I had a tough time with this. I was bored. But then after a further listens, I really dug a little deeper and realized what was going on. And I did think that it got better with each listen. And I really like how it plays out throughout the whole album. This doesn't get boring as you get to the end of the album, which is a big problem that a lot of bands have when constructing an album, is that they don't know how to construct the album in a way to keep some of the interesting songs at the end, to keep the momentum going.
Too many albums are front heavy.
Yep.
Too many albums.
And this one's definitely not. I feel like the weight's really in the middle, but it still finishes nicely. And gets a little art rocky even, which just a dash of art rock is really cool.
I mean, to tell you the truth, my favorite tracks are in the first half.
Go ahead and
but
pick
I still don't feel like it slows down necessarily.
Go ahead and pick them real quick.
I'm going to go with tracks 2 and 3, Is Love Forever and The Mystery Zone, and then also track 5, Written in Reverse. I'm sorry to my friend Jeff. We had a conversation about that song, and he said that song really bothers him. He's like, I mean, somebody call a hearse? He's like, where the hell did that come from?
That's a weird thing.
Yeah, I have to agree with him, but at the same time, it doesn't ruin the song for me. I like it.
Yeah, and I love that song. I love how the guitars are just crazy. They have some cool piano chords. Britt Daniels' vocals are awesome. That's overall my track pick over the whole album. So I like that. Track 5, Written in Reverse. But I also like track 4, Who Makes Your Money. I like that song a lot. And I like track 8 a lot, Goodnight Laura, because it's just piano, acoustic guitar, and Britt Daniels.
Kind of lo-fi.
It really is. And
fits.
it's really endearing, and it shows it gives some emotion in the album where it really needs it. And I feel like that really helps the album overall. I like this. I like it a lot, actually. It has some things that's keeping this from being in the mid 80s for me. I'm actually gonna go 77. I do like it better than Kill the Moonlight that we did before.
I liked it better too. I'd say in the scope of these last 5 Spoon albums, I think that this is better than Kill the Moonlight. Maybe even a little bit better than Girls Can Tell for me, but I really like Gimme Fiction and Ga 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 Ga. I think it's a little bit below those two. Did you rate it?
I did. I gave it a 77.
Okay, I wasn't even paying
That's
attention
fine.
apparently. I'm gonna give it a 78. So we're very
good call.
close.
Very even. Yeah, and this is definitely a good album. I would definitely recommend it.
Yeah.
Give it a shot. Spoon's very consistent. They're always putting out good stuff and always doing some cool things. But yeah, that's Spoon's Transference. What do you think about Spoon tripping down their sound? Tell us at www.velocitiesandmusic.com in the comment section down there. Leave us a comment, and we'd love to give a dialogue going about Spoon, because this is a cool band. I love watching them. I'm Jake.
I'm Tom.
We are VIMTV, moving music critique forward.